I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out how I want to intro these videos other than just the normal "What's up, guys, Nolan here." But for today in particular, this shirt perfectly describes it, and we have the face cam, so you guys are going to be able to actually visually see my expression on my face. And luckily, I do have my credentials for whatever might happen. It's gonna get spicy. There's a lot of things that we're gonna jump around to today, some of which is spoilery, but that is going to be later. If there is going to be something that is even remotely a spoiler to anybody, I will be very clear about it. And like I said, we are gonna jump around a bit, so we'll start small and then get bigger. Starting with the breaking news. As I was writing this script that you guys are about to hear me actually go through, BSG put out a tweet about website maintenance. If they are going to do something special around a big reveal for 1.0, maybe a sale, or God forbid, a special edition of the game, or the full details on Steam, then this could be it. So stay tuned for the latest on that, and we'll see what pops up tomorrow from them. This video will absolutely contain spoilers pertaining to the 1.0 version of Escape from Tarkov, as well as the final map terminal, if it's still the final map. We'll see what's going on there. So again, this will at some point, but not at the beginning, be spoilery. Just going to be surface level stuff. To start with the small stuff, we have the discussion that I asked from you guys yesterday about Steam, and wow, did I forget about a big thing here, the mod support. For those who don't know, Nikita has confirmed in the past that they're going to allow mod support for the PvE version of Escape from Tarkov, and if that is still the case, Steam Workshop will make that very easy to do, on top of the fact that it has the 132 million users. So yeah, that's a lot of new Timmies for the trenches there for 1.0. So Steam makes a lot of sense. Thank you guys for the input there on that end. Now, in order of least spoiler to most, we have the reveal of RUAF, aka the Russian Armed Forces in the game, from Nikita today on Twitter. Looks like they're going to stop some Black Division from entering a building, but failing to do so. RUAF seems to have sufficient mid to high level gear, rocking nice built AKs, armor, and even nods. The armor in particular looks new, and the clothing for sure is. We'll have to see what level of protection it provides, but it is clearly some kind of point man or breacher setup, including extra armor around the thighs, arms, and hands. The chest rig and or vest seems to be different based off of the shading, but it could be any of the 6B line. I do think it's new as well, which would make sense. They're probably going to kit these guys out with something more interesting, but you know, let me know what you guys think of their loadouts here. Now, if we tie that into the Nikki leak showing what I thought was the animation of a man at the clearly changed Road to Customs, that could be confirmation that the RUAF checkpoints will actually become manned and guarded by Russian armed forces. What that means for the UN, I don't know. I don't know if they're still going to add the UN. We haven't heard anything about them yet. I did just ask Nikita and BSG for an answer, which I'll check real quick. Oh, we got an answer. Yes, yes, directly from Nikita himself just 10 minutes ago, because I was writing while I was working on this video. So as of 10 minutes ago, the UN is still coming. We just haven't seen them yet. Now we have Black Division, RUAF, and even though we haven't seen them, confirmation now, UN is going to be there as well. So expect the UN checkpoints to have UN. Expect the RUAF checkpoints to have the RUAF, and Terminal to be as spicy as it is. Now back to Terminal and the Nikki leaks from today. We do see dead PMCs on the ground as well. There is clearly a visible bear logo hat on one of the deceased gentlemen, who happens to also have a AK platform weapon in front of them, pointing to this being a bear. Now, depending on the scene, depending on what's happening there, that could be previous to whatever is going to happen when that photo was taken, or when that screenshot was taken, or we'll have to see exactly what that is. He does seem to be looted, so maybe that is playing a part. There's going to be some cinematics and stuff that's going on here, so we'll see what part that plays in particular. When we take a look at the Black Division boys, we see a different variety of gear, all high-level NATO, ULOCs, exfils, and ARs. One of them rocking the heavy box backpack, I'd guess for sensitive electronics, maybe, or explosives. I'm not actually sure why you'd want a hard plastic box strapped to your back. I would imagine whatever gear they use is able to be exposed to the elements in some capacity, or just be perfectly fine in a regular backpack. But maybe it's for something on the terror group side, like, again, sensitive electronics, not made for military use. So same kind of thing as our secure containers, except his is on his back instead of in his butt like us. The gentleman in the front has a display of some type on his wrist, so that could be something Black Division specific, or a hint to GPS coming online to us all with the right connections, apparently. They are all clearly marked Black Division, and they are all squared away with their rifles pointed up and ready to fire, so I think it makes it pretty clear you don't want to fuck with these guys. More on that later. Something I will reference later is a video from the BSG booth at PAX where BSG is interviewing content creators. But to start, I want to use this clip of Willers and Gingy, where they mentioned dying a lot on Terminal. Based on that, I'd say that we have confirmation the Black Division are going to be the most difficult enemies in the game, and rightfully so. But based off of the other details that we're getting, it could just be an extremely deadly and difficult to navigate environment in the first place. In that same video, there's a clip from Airwing Marine, who at some point today will be posting what he referred to as a massive spoiler video about what he and the few other people were able to play Terminal, what they experienced. His paraphrased but still accurately quoted words were, "It is something super worthwhile to get invested in. It's not the same repetitive cycle. If it is even a taste of what we got here with the storyline, that rinse and repeat that we've gotten used to, that isn't what is here. It is a new experience."
What do you mean? What do you mean?
What the fuck could that be? As I have been pointing to in my last several videos, between the in-raid traders and the campaign progression, it seems this glimpse into the endgame that these content creators have gotten to is nothing like what we've grown used to, apparently, according to Airwing. I think this could be our first confirmation BSG are planning on sticking to their guns. If we even want to call it a confirmation, we could just say, you know, like I said, sticking to their guns. It could just be part of the plan all along. We just, for some reason, based off of the popularity of the game, thought it would play more like it plays now. And I have to assume it will. But there's something going on here. We got to pay attention to this. I wouldn't say it's a hardcore wipe, to be clear. I wouldn't get crazy about that, mostly because Airwing actually responded to a comment on my tweet about this, saying as much. He said there was nothing from the hardcore wipe in that build for Terminal, so we're good on that end. But there's something significant here. There's some significant changes going on with either the Terminal location or the game at large at 1.0 when you put this all together. We definitely need to keep an eye on this for what exactly is going to be going on at release. Now, I think now is a good time for me to say light spoiler, as I'm pretty sure if they are going to do a proper trailer or reveal for 1.0, this next bit of info will be included in it visually and probably literally, but also we can all assume that this was the case anyway. But just in case, light spoiler warning on the events that will occur within the Terminal location. We got a wombo combo from Gingy and Dottie Hack. Gingy posted some low-res screenshots from Terminal showing scavs, and Dottie said that he wiped 10 Black Division and then got rolled by Gluhar. So that's a double confirmation that there are other entities on Terminal other than the Black Division and the RUAF. When you combine that with the other bits that we've been getting from other interviews and snippets about the cinematics and the cutscenes, I'm just going to go ahead and fully assume the events of the raid series last episode is exactly what will happen on Terminal, either every time that you enter it or at least the first time as part of the campaign. I'm going to assume you enter, you get stripped of your weapons and your gear by the Russian military, and then at some point the Black Division breaches the location along with the local scavs, and it seems like at least Gluhar, if not all of the bosses, is tagging along. And again, that's light spoiler. That is public information. That's Dottie's post, that's Gingy's post, that's stuff from Nikita. That's all out there. Now this is going to be the full spoiler warning, and I am actually working through this stuff for the first time myself. I am typing this script out for you guys. Well, now that I'm recording it, I typed this script out, and now I am going to actually do this bit live. There has been a Reddit post by someone who was able to play the Terminal build with a solid memory, where they describe everything that they experienced and even drew a crude map of the location. If you want to be able to experience that for yourselves by not looking at a clearly Microsoft Paint drawn map of Terminal and their explanation of what exactly happened there, click off now. Final spoiler warning. This stuff is going to be pretty deep. I wanted to be able to experience this stuff as well as possible, so I didn't even research this. This is going to be a live recording of me reacting to this information because at the end of the day, I'm a fan of this stuff, guys. I want to try and get as much enjoyment out of this stuff as possible, but it's my own fault that I made this my job at the same time. So even though I am a super fan of this game and I want to be able to experience it as a super fan of this game, I'm going to try and wiggle my way into trying to enjoy, but also again trying to inform you guys and trying to make money, keep this being my job as much as possible. It's going to be tough to navigate that, especially at release, but this is my first attempt at doing something similar to that. So this is going to be live. Let's do it. So have this recording. We're good to go. We'll look through that other stuff. We've got Gingy's screenshots here just to make sure for congruency's sake. We got Gingy's low-res screenshots. This is clearly from BSG, so I'm assuming they're going to post this somewhere. Now I think about it, and when I'm editing this, I'll go and I'll see if I can find this on Discord or something. But this is clearly low res, and but those are still very clearly scavs. And then again, we've got what I assume to be scavs, and again, this is low res, so hopefully we can get some better stuff. But this is definitely terminal. Those are definitely scavs on terminal, because that's exactly where we saw the Black Division earlier from one of the other screenshots. Actually, the initial reveal of the Black Division from Nikita himself there too. So that's what we got there. And then we have these actual screenshots. I'll do a better job of editing this, but again, for congruency's sake, these are the screenshots that we got from Nikita today over on Twitter. And we got the Black Division boys in the back. We got the hard case backpack there. And we got a bit of loot. So actually, that's confirmation there's going to be loot on the area, or on the location as well. So in some capacity, it's going to work like a normal map, although we will have these Black Division guys. We're going to have the Russian armed forces. They got the tape in the arm. They got the MVGs. They got the pretty nice built out AK-12 there. And we do have the loot. We have the weapon crates, and we have the little, is that 3x3 or is that 3x4? I forget what that, it was a 4x4. I forget what that crate in particular is, but we got the weapon box there too. And then we have the new armor guys in particular. So again, with the edit, I'll make sure to zoom in with these guys. Hayes, thanks for the assist there on that one for this quick click here while I'm here. We got the padded hands. This little fold here seems to be different. If this is a fort armor, or the OG fort armor, if this is going to be the 6B, the level 6, and that it goes into the arm, which some people thought because of the pad here, or just like this setup here, this shading does not fit this. Also, like the level of detail and just kind of the setup with the clothing, this makes me think that this is the clothing of that player character, or non-player character rather, and then this vest is something separate. So I don't think this is fort. It could still be like some kind of version of the level 6. It could also have a rig on top of it, or have the pouches be part of it. Either way, it equals, I'm pretty sure that this is new gear for this RUAF individual in particular. And then we have this guy in the background, which I will zoom in with the edit. We have the dead bear there. Now, as we move through, we've got this bit from Dottie actually as well. We've got this recording here from Airwing, and I'll put that up in the edit too. This is it. This is going to be the first time that I'm actually like thoroughly looking through this stuff. Obviously, it was shared with me, so I got to see some thumbnails of some stuff, but I've never actually read through this. So we're going to experience this stuff together. We'll see what's what. Okay, I guess you got some swag. Okay, edited because it was a bunch of jumbled thoughts. I'll zoom in as much as I can over here on this end too. Let's see what that looks like for you guys. Okay, good to go there. Edited because it was a bunch of jumbled thoughts before, and I wanted to make it clearer, to coherent, to better make sense of the photos provided. My wife and I attended PAX West this weekend, and were able to access the content creator sections. This guy emailed me this stuff. I said thank you, but I wasn't going to look at it because I wasn't sure if I can share this stuff or not. I think we're good to share this stuff based off of the conversations that I've had, but it was funny because the way that he put it, he emailed me and I had the impression that it was just me. But apparently not, so we're good to go. Maybe this is better information. I'm going to assume that this was after, at least, because this was like midday yesterday. So maybe his jumble, he did email me like 6 times, so maybe I was the dry run. Maybe I was the test run for how to actually properly word this, which I will gladly take. Anyway, BSG reps on site specifically said that I could talk about this and post about it, but not take any photos. Consider all of this rumor until confirmed by BSG. I have also sent the details out to several YouTubers, so, oh, there we go. That might make a video since I am not very active anymore. The mission starts with a normal cinematic cutscene explaining Terror Group and USEC, then the initial raid that caused the formation of Bear. The mission starts with a normal cinematic cutscene explaining Terror Group and USEC. Okay, so that's just the cinematic. Oh, so it's just a story thing of just like a, what would that be? Like a prequel thing? Like a rollback? Like a flashback? Flashback. That I was looking for there. It has some basic background and key art, or rather key characters, flash on the screen for a few seconds each. Everything is in Russian with English subs. Next, the new map features actual voiceover in Russian and some generic friendly NPCs with their main names, MP Officer. The new map features actual voiceover in Russians. Okay, so that was the stuff that, I'll put that up on screen. That was the stuff that Nikita was showing during the last Tarkov TV with the cutscenes for Terminal. There are 2 CMS kits. Or I think I'm cutting ahead here. He explains that you will have to wait for extraction and leads you into a room. Once there, you can control your character and loot food or medical items. There are 2 CMS kits near the desk sitting on the chair, several packs of cheese now again on the desk. Nearby, you have Iskras, Tashanka, and water, as well as a couple of miscellaneous food items. After a minute or so, there is another cutscene of the events outside. The soldiers are fighting scavs and other soldiers in the street. One fires a grenade launcher, and we soon cut back to controlling our character. The door to the outside is now unlocked, opposite the way we entered, and we can now leave. Okay, so cutting there, let's just... So yeah, this is... Okay, so this is what's happening in the raid series, which makes sense. That makes sense that that's what's going to happen. We get stripped of our gear. They have gear in front of us, at least medical supplies and food for the raid, I guess, that we're going to have ahead of us. And it seems like this is what's happening. It seems like the Scavs and the Black Division are raiding like they did in the raid series, the last episode there. From here, there are friendly NPCs and some dead ones nearby with guns and magazines. The bodies are lootable, and the game proceeds as normal, similar to a scav raid, with the soldiers being the friendlies in this case. So RUAF are the friendlies. The mission map is drawn... That's going to cause some issues. The mission map is drawn from memory. They posted a map on the screen that they showed the cutscene on at the front of the room, and I am confident it looks somewhere between what I drew and my wife drew. This was a cinematic mission and not just a run-of-the-mill raid. We spent about an hour behind the wall and were able to play the map 3 times. My wife was with me to watch at first. They let her in to watch, but there was an extra PC. She got to play next to me. I wrote a bunch of details up after we walked out of the press section. We did not take photos or video because we didn't want to get kicked out, but we took good notes about the mission details, what went on behind the scenes in the press section, and everything else that occurred at the BSG booth on Saturday. I was looking around YouTube to see if anyone had talked about it yet. I haven't posted videos in several years. I found nothing so far. The normal playtest area included a competition and giveaway with the kill record for the EFT side at 51 on Friday, and the guy next to me, Isaac, beat it on Saturday with 107. Got A. Is that on terminal? Back and forth between factory and woods to... Oh, okay, so that wasn't on terminal. Also, in the press access area, we were given swag. Okay, the event was really fun. BSG exhibit. Photos include... Okay. Damn. Yeah, so a big cinematic raid. You get stripped of your gear, and the events of the final raid episode is what happens on terminal. How do you replay that? Start naked with minimal meds, food. Guns in combat are here with friendly NPCs. Falling crane. Oh, we see that. We see that with one of the trailers. Let's see if everyone put his video up yet. Well, since this is live. There it is. All right, so Airwing's video is live. 30 fucking minutes. Goddamn, bro. So go check that out. For more details, apparently. We'll check that out. We'll check that out later. But we got the map here. Extract with keycard. Armory to gear up. Black Division for keycard. So you got to gear up as you go. Extract GG. And basically that's terminal. Terminal only map available at the event. 1 million to 23 million rubles on the account. BSG showed video trailer with voiceover. Hard to hear, but it was in Russian with English subs. Virtue through knowledge. Terror group. Talks about the lore terror. Yeah, terror group. USEC, lots of background. Origins of bear. Peacekeeper has a name, but couldn't read it in Russian. Isn't that on the wiki? It's probably on the wiki. Goon Squad is named Marty Rogers, maybe Knight. Oh, some lore. Account name Terminal _ Prez. Okay, that was what they were playing on. That's fine. I almost thought, do we need to go in the ARS right now? But no, that must have been the account name. Grouped up with others in our row. Nighttime. Actual NPC and storyline pre-raid. Multiplayer. Killed by Black Division. New faction. Yep. Mission consists of starting naked in a room. Gather gear. Exit into street / war zone. Find weapon. Okay, so yeah, you gotta gear up as you go. Find weapon. Make your way to the armory down the street. Collect the card. Probably at Black Division, maybe. And extract. Cutscene about war, then control character again, gave us free swag bags and a Goshen. CMS kits for the war. Terminal was the extraction point. That's why you need to escape. This is why we are stuck here in Tarkov. So is it the first mission? Is it the first or the last? Yo, that would make sense why they're letting people see it now. No, you definitely... I wonder... Okay, I wonder if what's going to happen here then is Terminal the last map that you unlock, but it's not the end of the campaign. Because then you need to figure out how to escape. I wonder. Or do you just go from there and you can't escape? But then they said there were several ways to escape. What do you guys think, of course? What do you guys think about this one? And then we got some pics here from the booth. Very cool booth. Okay. So I'm wondering if that's the final map that you unlock, but that's not the end. It doesn't seem like it. This is Terminal was the extraction point. That's why you need to escape. This is why we are stuck here in Tarkov. Dope. Dope. All right, I'm going to go check out Airwing's video. This didn't end up being as spoilery as I thought it would be. I thought they were like going to get... I think that it is interesting that this actually isn't like the last map. I think that this is like where you then need to go back and you need to kind of figure out how to escape, or that just creates the multiplayer verse that we made, or that we have become accustomed to, where you can go to whatever map you want for whatever reason and you can like do your tasks and stuff like that. It does make sense as that as like the end of the campaign, but then you're stuck there. And then that does make sense why there's DLC. Yo, that tracks. All right, between what we're going to discuss here and what Airwing's going to share in his video, this obviously just this deserves more attention, so we'll pick it back up later. Of course, let me know what you guys think. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you for being here over the years. Of course, we are back on Tarkov. We're going to be covering not only... I think I'm going to do some Borderlands 4 here in a few days, but of course, we're going to be doing Battlefield 6. We're going to be doing, of course, Arc Raiders with the boys, both of which with the boys. And then, of course, we've got Tarkov in a couple of months here. 2.5 months away. We are now officially in September. We are 2.5 months away from the fucking release of Escape from Tarkov and getting to do this for ourselves. So, you can tell when I go live and when I go off script. Thank you guys very much for watching. Support what I do. Click all the buttons on the screen or come by a stream, which would have been in the corner somewhere over there. Or no, well, over there somewhere. Over there somewhere, I think. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a nice day. See you guys.